Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Saturday Learning by Mindbowser. So, if you don't know, we in Mindbowser conduct a webinar in every month with a new topic where we can share our knowledge or any latest technology that we are using to like help you to learn that technology and share our knowledge with you. So for this month, the topic of ours is unlock the power of NPM, where I'll be teaching like how you can create your own React components into a library and publish it on the NPM repository. So first of all, my name is Ashish Arora. I work as software engineer at Mindbowser. I have a 3+ years of experience in the web development. I'm a full stack developer, and I always try to learn new things. And the most important things, I never deliver my work as a feature. I always solve it and deliver it after, never make it as a feature. So in today's webinar, we will cover two topics like what is NPM, why you use NPM, what is package.json, what are NPM scripts, and also I'll give you a step-by-step demo of how you can create your own React component into a library. And also I'll be telling you what are dependencies, dev dependencies, peer dependencies, and what is semantic versioning. What are the advantages of using NPM library? So first, what is NPM? As everyone, if anyone don't know, NPM stands for Node Package Manager. We use it as a library and a registry for our JavaScript software packages. NPM is also has a CLI command line which we use to install our dependencies and initialize our package.json. And NPM is open source, so we open source for all the JavaScript code, and it is free to use. So we can easily access it from anywhere, from any desktop we want. So why we use NPM in our projects? So it is generally to manage our complete dependencies for all JavaScript inside the package.json, like our test scripts and our build scripts. We can manage it easily in our package.json with all the dependencies, all the current versions of the dependency, including the current version of our project. So by running a small command npm init, we can like npm install, we can install all our dependencies for our project very easily using the npm command line, and all these packages will be listed inside the package.json. So what is package.json? So firstly, package.json like created by using npm init. If you like run command like npm init, it will ask you informations like name, version, descriptions, and license. License is by default ISC. So if you have your own license, you can mention that, or else you can just use the default one, which is ISC. So package is created by the package manager itself, in which we are using npm, and it exists in our root folder. If we don't, as I mentioned, if we don't have any package.json, we can create it by using npm init. So like this is how package.json looks like. It is a JSON format which includes name, version, description. Right now we can keep it distinct, but we can mention anything. Directories can be anything. Scripts, like it can be like test scripts, run scripts, also the build scripts. License, as I said, we can keep it default like ISC. Now, what are npm scripts? So in package.json, these scripts, we can create properties like scripts. So where we can mention our running scripts like npm run, then React scripts for running our project, build scripts which we're going to use it in our demo. So for example, I have written also like npm should run our test npm build as a mentioned to build a project and start to run our project locally. So all these scripts are flexible. You can create your own scripts and easily manage it inside the package.json. So now I will give you a step-by-step demo. But before jumping onto a step-by-step demo, I'm gonna give you like a perfect example of why we should why we should create our own npm library. So this is my personal experience. So I was working on a project where I had to create one a drop down with the search option. So and there was a requirement to keep the search option as a separate from the input. So like we already have React Select in the npm, so we usually use for the project, which is the most commonly used library. But that library was not fulfilling all my requirements. So what I planned, I should create my own component. So I started creating it. I was successful. I created fulfill all the requirements. But after a few weeks, one of my colleagues had same requirement. He also needed the same drop down. So I shared the component, all the code of the component with him. So like that was a bit active for me. And that time I like discovered how you can create a own npm library and decided to I will publish that component inside on the npm repo. So where every all of my colleagues and out of all of my like out of all of my network can access that library and easily use it. And also like anyone from my colleague can collaborate and maintain that library as per the requirement, or any bugs if they have encountered, they can easily manage it on to the npm repo. So this is how I started creating npm library daily usage. So this has been very helpful to me. So now we will start a demo. So I've created one small component by the name of button. If you click on it, this is a button script. Alert will be fired. So you can see I've imported the button component. Inside the button component, I've passed one props as variant and the children to get the children from the component. Here I am managing the as per the variant I am managing the colors. If I change variant to secondary, color is changed to red. So how I can convert this completely to the npm library. So first of all, before creating, uh, we will create one folder here by the name of button. Inside this, I will also create one folder like this. What we will do, we will create another project inside this project, which will be used as a component, which will be deployed on the npm. So I will cut this button and paste it inside the source folder. Inside the source folder, I will create one. Inside this index.js, I will create one return function where I will export my component as a library. As a function. So make sure whenever you create your own library, make sure to input it as a function and not as a component. Like, this is how a component and it is exported, but we want to export it as a function. So here I have passed like button component, which is my component which I have created, and I am passing it as a button. So I want my library to be exported as button, not as the button component. This is for my local use, and this is for my global use. I have created and I will open terminal and switch to my library folder. So currently we only have this button component index. Now I want a package.json where I can manage my complete component. So completely be in package.json. I will run npm init. It will ask me like what is your package name. I will keep it as button library, which was name of my folder. Click enter. What is the version? I will keep it default 1.0.0, which is the initial version of every component. Now I will write a description. Now what should be the entry point? I keep it as index.js, which I created. Test command, we don't need any right now. Git repository. If you have your Git repository, you can paste the repo link here. Currently, we haven't created, so I can skip it. Keywords, like what are the keywords? I'll explain it here. So keywords are nothing but if someone is want to search a library on npm, how should you search it? So I'm creating a button library. So I will write button. So anyone who search button on npm .js, so he will get my library in his search history. Now, so I'll pass my library name button. So these two I'll pass it as and what I'll name myself license that I want to keep it default IRC because I don't have any uh, license for me right now. So it will ask for a confirmation. We can check all the required information. Like, is it correct? We will cross check it and click enter. As you can see inside the button library, a package.json is created. I have passed the keyword button library. I have passed the description, which is the description, the name of the project, and the version. Now I want to install few dependencies which will be used to create our library. So I've kept ready one code snippets where which I'll be using to install all the like required plugins. So uh, don't worry, I will like explain what these packages do, how these packages will help us to create our own library. So first, I will install Rollup. And make sure to install these as a dev. And if you want, I can also share these all these snippets with you after the demo. Install all the Babel compiler. Now I will add the runtime helper. As you can see, all the packages are updated in our package.json. I installed Babel runtime as my dependency and all these as our dev dependencies. So what are these Babel like all the dependencies which I will install? So rollup, we are using rollup for our bundler where we will use it as our use it to create our builds. And I've used add a plugin for styles and source maps. So all these two will work. Like this will help me to compile all my CSS which I have written here, and source maps will help to like structure all my folder inside a single file and make it a small build. And all the Babel which I have installed will help me to compile the package whenever we creating the build. And the Babel runtime will help us to run our package when we install it inside any project. So as everything is installed, and now I will create a build file. Name it as a So all these files will be created inside our root folder, which is button library. Inside the SRC, it will be only our compute related component. So now I've created a roll file. I will kept ready one snippet for this. Copy to save our time. That's it. So then I installed auto prefixer, source maps, Babel. Source map I use auto prefixer is for our CSS, which will prefix our all these CSS for our build. And we will create build for three formats. This is CJS, which is called as CommonJS. We will use CommonJS to publish our library because it is the most commonly used and mostly supported by all the React components. But we will create all other two formats too, which is ECMAScript and UMD, which is Universal Module Definition, and make sure to like create your config file as MJS, which stands for Module JavaScript. So currently rollup configs only support Module JS, not the pure JavaScript. So like created this mode as inside an array with all the three formats. I've created for input. Input will be our index.js file, which is this I created inside the source folder. Inside this, we are mapping our mode array where we are creating configs as inputs. First one will be input, which is src.index, and output will be like what kind, name of a component, which is library. And file like we should pass like create our build inside the test folder. So this folder we will create a, like name it as an index with the app with the format will be CJS, ESM, EMD, and extension will be .js. And format we will pass all the formats which we have passed here, and we will keep expose and interrupt as auto. And for the external, like external is nothing but for which like framework or like code we are creating this library. So I'm creating this for React, and for the compiler I'm using Babel runtime. And for the plugins, as we are using Babel, so I will pass the Babel configurations. We are using Babel, so we will use transform runtime, which will help us to like convert it into a build to use it at runtime. And we will exclude module.js node modules from our components. So if we keep it inside the build, so it will make our build heavy, which we don't want. So like build it includes all our dependencies, so we don't require any. And source map, as I mentioned, source map will source all our folder inside of one single file. And for the CSS, I'm using the post CSS and using auto prefixer. And all these should be like pushed inside a config file or like config variable. And I will export this. So after this, we have to create our so I'll create one .babel as babel as RC, which will be created inside our root folder. So here we will mention our presets, what presets we are using. So we are using React presets because we are creating this library for React and presets environment. This is the default preset we have to pass. And we will get one npm ignore file so that all our node is not pushed inside our npm repo. So, remove all the like this will disable all the required which is not required and not push it inside our GitHub repo. Inside the package.json, we will create one build script to get our for our package. So, command using build rollup. So rollup is rollup space -c. I will run this build command to create for our project. So it showed one error. So rollup error could not resolve it. So as you can see, I created a button folder inside. I created one index file, but I imported just the button folder. So I also need to mention file imported. I have a bundle. Be sure to do this. Like import with the file, not with the folder, because React support like imports with the folder, but rollup don't. So we need to pass it as index. So we can find it again. Okay. So our build is successfully generated. As you can see, the disk file is created. And inside the disk file is the file which we are using index.cjs.js, which is the common JS. So as you can see, it shows our complete code inside one file. So like within 53 files, it created our complete build. Close all these tabs. So now everything is ready, but you can publish it. But before that, we have to mention our main file for this. Previously mentioned index.js, but we want to publish it, and the index.cjs.js should be accessed from the npm. So I will change again to this. Okay. The file should be used after deploying it on the npm. So now I will look at npm publish. Default method for 403 forbidden. You do not have permission to publish button library. So why it should be this error? So basically, so you can see there's already a button library already like exported on the npm repo. So we cannot use this name for our library. So I will use, emphasize this name. No name is used for this as this in any component. So we will use it for our library.
Ashish, sorry to interrupt. Can we be a bit loud? It would be better.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Is it better now? Shivani, can you confirm?
Yes, it's better.
So I ran the npm publish command, just published our library inside the npm repo. So you will check. So as you can see inside my npm account, the library is published, named by button library Saturday Learning, and open it. As you can see, keywords I'm using install command, and the version is 1.0.0, which we have passed. Copy it, and we will run it inside our project. So I'm using the previous project which I used to show my local component. So I installed my component here. Capital learning. So inside the package.json, you can see the button library. Capital learning is installed by the version 1.0.0. I'll go back to package.js and I'll come. So as I showed, I exported this library as button. So is it showing me in the suggestion? Like button is there's a button component in the button library Saturday learning library. Have any confusion? Check, there's no error. I'll go back to my component, refresh this. Like the new button is imported. I click on this, the alert is also fired. Now if I try to change the period, color is changed. So we are using the same component which we have published inside our npm repo. So I publish this as a version 1.0.0. Now, what if I want to update the version? Like I encountered any bug after installing. So how you can change the version? How you can install a new publish a new version? So during the this session, I missed one thing to do, which was to mention the peer dependencies. It is it will not throw any error if you don't mention it, but it is suggested to mention all the peer dependencies. So I will use React, Tom, and React as my peer dependencies. But don't worry, I will explain what are these two, like peer dependencies, dependencies, and peer dependencies. I created my package.json and I go back to my terminal for my library. I will wait for my library. So the build is updated. As you can see, here it's already stopping me from publishing. You can say you cannot publish over the previously published versions. So current version is 1.0.0. We can change it from here, but while do hard work, we can do smart work. I will just simply to change our version from for our component and also inside it the package.json. And I will run again the npm publish command. I refresh this. The version is updated to 1.0.1, which I did. So this was the demo. That's how you can create your own library and publish it inside the npm repo. Now I created three dependencies in the package.json. Dependencies, their dependencies, and peer dependencies. What are those three? So dependencies are the list of models and packages which we want to use like inside our local project or after we deployed it on our production server, dev server. So it will always install whenever we run npm install, it also install all the dependencies which are mentioned inside the dependencies inside our package.json. So, and inside our dev dependencies, short, it is used for development dependencies. We will like write packages which only will be used in our local server, which is while we are doing development, and which will not be used after we deployed it on our server or on our production server on our inside our npm repo. As I mentioned, like multiple libraries inside their dependencies which will roll up, which are using for bundler and babel as a compiler. So all these libraries were not used after publishing it inside the like npm repo. So I mentioned it inside the dev dependencies. You can mention like just the testing libraries or ESLints, which we mostly use while development to create test cases on any other thing you want, like bundlers like Webpack, anything. And the last one was the peer dependencies. So peer dependencies are basically what dependency, like what packages are very dependent on your package. In my case, it was React and React DOM because my component was strictly for the React, so I mentioned the React packages as a peer dependencies. So whichever dependencies we mentioned inside the peer dependencies, so whoever he like whoever installed the peer dependent like my component like my library inside their project, so it will automatically install React and React DOM inside the component itself when they install my library. So what are the semantic versioning? So as you saw, like I was maintaining some versions. 1.0.0, 1.0.1. So what were those? So these are differentiated between three formats, which is major, minor, and patch. The one is for the major, like two is for the minor, and three is for the patch. So when we install major ones, so whenever we created any we created a like major feature, we changed the complete site or a complete project is changed. We have developed some new features. We have completely revamped our project. So in that case, we will use the major version. We will change the version of our versions to 2.0.0. And for the minor, if we created like a small feature or any we change any compatible changes, so we will pass it as a minor change. So it will not affect it will not affect our project whenever we update it. And patch is for like if you encounter any bug, if you encounter any small bug, it will affecting our project. So we can use it as a patch, and inside the patch we can change the patch version. Like as I changed 1.0.0 to 1.0.1. So I passed it as a patch because it was not a major change. It was just solving one bug. I passed it as a patch version. So as you saw, I use Rollup for my bundler. So what is Rollup? So Rollup is a module bundler for JavaScript. It compiles code into small pieces. Like it will convert all my complex code into one small file, and it uses all the standardized formats of ES6 which we use in JavaScript. What is Babel? So it is the most commonly used transpiler, Babel.js. So they actually use Babel to compile their code for the browser. So it uses what Babel do. Babel will compile your current JavaScript version to older JavaScript version. So it will be compatible with all the versions of the browser, which are commonly used like Edge, Chrome, Safari, and it can be any version, the older version or the newer version. It will always run in our it will always run our projects in all the browsers which we are using. And with Babel JavaScript, developers can write their code in new features in JavaScript very easily and easily compile it in any other browsers. So, what are the advantages of creating your creating your component into an npm library? So it reduces the code reusability. Like you can easily use your code anywhere without writing code again and again. You can easily maintain a same component inside multiple projects very easily. Like if you can contact any bug related to that component in one project, and like if you want to solve that bug, you just change it inside your component and deploy it again into npm repo. So it will change that issue inside all the other projects. You don't have to do it manually again and again for all the other projects. So this will also like speed up all the development which you are doing, and also encourages collaborations between developers. So you can like add a few developers, your colleagues, as a collaborator for that npm library, so they can easily work on that npm library. Uh, like in same npm library, if you they want to make any changes, they can collaborate and to make their changes very easily. And also easy maintenance, as I mentioned, if you encountered any bug, you can easily change it inside one component. It will be make effective all the other projects you want. So as I was mentioning, what is CodeGrip? So CodeGrip is a code analysis tool. We use it for excellence our code quality. It helps us to encounter check any bugs or any code smells we have. If any code which we can improve, so CodeGrip will suggest you some duplications, or what duplications you have, what you can make code, how you can make your code more improved, how you can minimize your code very easily. So it helps us to keep our code quality very good, and you can also check your code quality, your reliability easily from the dashboard to check is your code working fine or not. And it supports almost every code like JavaScript in React and Angular. It supports all the codes, all the frameworks which are commonly used. Okay. So thank you guys. Hope this session was useful for you and easily understandable. for you. If you have any queries, you can contact me on the below email. And if you want to use any library or npm component created by me, I have also write my npm JS ID, so you can access all my npm libraries from this ID, which is Ashish Arora 1998. You can use any libraries you want. And if you want to make any, like, if you have some good ideas for my library, I can add you as a collaborator for the library, and you can easily develop for the same component too. Thank you very much, guys.